Hi everyone, my name is Dakshita and I'm your social science educator on Study Room. The chapter that we will be starting in this video is your Economics Chapter 1, The Story of Village Palampur. Have you heard this name before, Palumpur? What do you know about this village? Do you know where is the location of this village and how does this actually function? We will find out in this chapter. So, we will be covering the story of village Palampur. In this video, we will also be covering ways of farming, what are primary activities, what are secondary activities. We'll find out about modern farming methods, green revolution, and their drawbacks. So, let's start our chapter. Very first is the introduction to village Palampur. So I was asking you about this village. What do you know about this village? You cannot know because this is an imaginary village. This is a fictionated village that we have been created for the better understanding of process. Okay, so let's start. Palampur. Palampur is an imaginary village through which we will learn about production in village, different activities that has been followed in village, contribution and how farming contributes to economy, and is a farming only activity that is being followed in this village or there are other activities too. Let's start. First, we will discuss about the activities that is being followed in Palampur. Okay. First is agriculture. Agriculture is the main activity that is followed in Palampur and in most of the villages of India, because we agriculture is the only activity that dominates our country today. Okay. There are other activities we refer as non-farming activities, which includes dairy, transport, shopkeeping, or small scale manufacturing, etc. So basically, there are two differentiation of activities that is being followed in Palampur. One is the farming activity and other is non-farming activity. Farming activity includes all the agricultural based activities, and non-farming activity includes other than farming, all the activities. Yes. Second is about the connectivity. Second point for village Palampur, it's about its connectivity, where it is connected through. So Palampur is well connected through roads. Yes, it is well connected through roads and nearby towns. So Shahpur is the nearby town, which is well connected to Palampur through roads, and larger village Raiganj. Okay, so it's not that Palampur is a very isolated place. This fictionated village, this imaginary village, has well connected roads to nearby towns. Okay. Third is its transport facilities. So the transport facilities in Palampur is all kinds of vehicles, including bullock carts, tongas, bogie, motorcycles, jeep, tractors, trucks play on the road. Okay, and transportation is they are used for the purpose of transportation. That's why all kind of transport facilities are there in Palampur. Next third, so the fourth point that we study about Palampur is distribution of families and land. How is the land distributed in Palampur? And what is the population of Palampur? So there are total 450 families, okay, 450 families in village, out of which majority of land is owned by upper caste, okay, so owned by 80% upper caste family, and one third of village, that is 150 families, belong to Dalit caste. Okay, so there are casteism prevails in our society since ages. So Palampur also has caste system, is followed by caste system. So so there are total 450 families who stays in Palampur, but 80% land is held by upper caste, and approx 150 families belong to Dalit caste, as in lower caste. Okay. So the upper caste family, there is difference between upper caste and lower caste, as we can see from the images as well. The houses built for upper caste houses, or the houses where upper caste family stays, are well constructed out of bricks and cement, whereas Dalit family, as you can see in the picture, where Dalit family stays, it's made in the corner of village, and their houses are made up of mud and straw. As you can see, it's a hut where they live, and if we see upper caste, a house of upper caste family, it is well constructed. Okay. So casteism prevails in Palampur, as well, as Palampur has been taken as an example of any Indian village. Okay. Next is the fifth point. So in this point, we will study about the status of electricity, how electric connections has been made in the village. Okay. So the houses have electric connections. Yes, the houses have connection. Electricity powers tube well for irrigation purposes. So in Palampur, the supply of electricity is there. Irrigation, electricity is also powered in tube wells as well for irrigating crops and for other purposes, for factory purposes as well. Okay, so again, electricity is essential today. The way I and you are connected is through electricity. Okay, so in the village of Palampur, electricity is well connected there as well, and where it is used, the power, electric power is used for tube wells, for irrigation, and for other purposes related to manufacturing in factories. All right. Sixth point here is education and health, two very important factor for any village. So there are two primary schools. Primary schools are up to fifth class, and one high school up to 10th class. And for students of Palampur, so they can study and avail education. For health purpose, there is one government primary health care and one private dispensary. Okay, so there is government healthcare center, and there is a private dispensary in Palampur for the people who get sick, so they can treat themselves. So till now we have understand So till now, we understand about Palampur that it has basic amenities of life. Palampur, it's not a very isolated village where it's the survival it's difficult. No, the Palampur has basic amenities of life. It has school, it has hospital, it has electricity. But in social sector, it is also being affected by the age-old discriminatory caste system. Okay, as we have seen the difference between houses of a upper caste and a lower caste. So if we do not include this factor, Palampur has all the basic amenities which is required for a sufficient living. The village also has developed system of road, as we have seen. It has developed system of road which help people using transport. Okay, and in return, what people get, they get better services. Services in terms of better medical supplies, educational facilities. It is not difficult for kids of Palampur to go to school. It is very easy for them because the road facility is available. Okay, and in Palampur, like other villages across India, farming is the primary production activity. Yes, farming is a primary production activity like any other village in India. So this imaginary village, Palampur, is basically inspired from uh, is inspired from any village of India. Okay, and not so the villages does not have just primary activity, which is farming. It also have other secondary activities as well, which is non-farming activities. For example, uh, shopkeeping, small scale manufactories. So when we talk in terms of activities, Palampur or any other village across India, it has two type of activity. One is primary, another is secondary. So again, primary activity is what it includes farming, agriculture, and other than farming, all the activities come under secondary activity. Okay. So now we will find out production in Palampur. Besides farming, there are other activities that is being conducted in the village. What are these activities? So these are non-farming activities, which include shopkeeping, dairying, transportation, and small-scale manufacturing. Okay, so it has small-scale manufacturing, shopkeeping, which is not part of um, farming, but a very essential part as an activity. Okay, next. This is a common ego based question for you all. I want you all to think over this question a little. I will explain it to you, don't worry. But just think about it. What do you think can be these various factors? So, our question is, why does production take place? Okay, why does production take place? What factor help in production? What are the what is the role of various factors? Okay, what factors help in production, and what are the roles of these various factors? Okay, let's understand this question in detail. So we will be studying about production in Palampur in detail. Okay, so first thing for you all to understand, what is production? So basically, production, the word production means making or growing something, okay? Making or growing something in large quantities, okay? So, where does anything grow and make? It's in factories. Yes, you are right. Okay. So, first we will understand what is the aim of the production, okay? So, very basic, the aim of production is to provide people with goods and services. Okay, today we are lucky to have so many production with us, be it in the form of milk, spices, and pulses. So these are all production. Okay, so the aim of production is to provide goods and services that they need in day to day life. Imagine if milk supply was not that easier in that plastic packet, how difficult it would have been for many people to reach to milk. Maybe many would not be able to reach out to milk then. Okay, so the aim of production is exactly same. The aim is to help people provide basic things that they require in daily life and make it accessible for them. Okay, second is, now what are the factors of production? um, there are majorly four elements, okay, which are known as factors of production. Okay, so four elements which are also factors. First is land, very important. So, for example, if you're producing something, you have to have a land and a space where you will build your factory. Okay, second, labor. Definitely, you would require people in your factory to work, otherwise, you would produce. Third, physical capital. Now, physical capital is in two forms, fixed and working. Okay. Fixed capital is also known as one time capital, where you have to just invest for one time. Okay, for example, land, machines. Okay, these are fixed capital. You don't need to change machine every day. You don't need to change land every day. Okay, so this is called fixed capital, and working capital is something that you required, in your daily process. For example, if it's butter, so then you require, if your factory is related to butter, you will require milk every day. Okay, so basically the raw material comes as working capital, and it is something that you would require every day, okay, for the production. And fourth is human capital. Yes, human capital here we refer as to the brain. Okay, um, marginaling and making profit or loss, or making fine quality product. So this is called human capital, where a human brain is required to control all these. So now we will study in detail each of the element. Okay, let's study about each of the element in detail. First element here is land. Yes, land include natural resources like water, forest, and minerals, which are inevitable for the production of many items like paper, ornament, and transport, etc. So, first element is land. Okay, one, you required a space for the production of your factory. Okay, it also includes natural resources like water. Some factories require that as well. Some require forest as well. So, for example, it's a factory of paper, so they required forest and wood as well. Okay, some also require natural resources, minerals. Okay, so this first element is land, which is the most required thing for any kind of production. Okay. Second is labor. Yes, labor is also very important. Who will work and how will how it will be, um, who will work and how it will be provided. Okay, so second is labor. Labor is basically refer to the efforts put into the production for any goods. Okay, so you have seen many people working on different factories making fine products for us. So labor is basically required to carry out the production activity. Okay, now, there are two type of labor. One is skilled labor, and second one we call as unskilled labor, or strength-based labor. Okay, so skill-based labor are the people who are educated people, or have specialization over something. It could be anything. It could be making fine product. It could be taping finely. So these are skill-based laborers who could do this. We call them, sometimes we call them artists, because they are very technical things that needs to be done, and only skill based labor could do that. So this is a part where you require brain. Now second, it's where you require physical strength. So it is strength based labor, where manual labors are required, where manual working is required. All right. Third is capital investment. Okay, now it is very important, physical capital. Now it is very important to understand physical capital investment, or physical capital. These are basically the inputs. Okay, so these are basically inputs that is required to produce any goods and service. Obviously you have to have a input if you have to produce any good, or you have to provide any service. Okay, so there are two majorly different type of physical capital. One is fixed capital. Fixed capital is used over large span, and it's just you majorly one time required. It does not have to have changes every day. These are tools, machinery, buildings. Tools, machinery, buildings, etc. And the second type is working capital. This is working capital investment, which is used during the course of production and has to be replaced repeatedly. It has to be replaced repeatedly. Its example are money and raw material. Raw material once used cannot be regained, right? It has to be used again and again. It is required every day. So this comes under working capital. Okay. So this is about physical capital. Now, fourth point here is human capital. Human capital is the most essential asset that we require today. Human capital, basically, you have to have a knowledge and enterprise to pull every inputs together. So you have raw material, you have your tools, you have all the kind of capital that you require. But if you don't know how to put them together, it will be very difficult for you, right? So human capital is basically the knowledge and enterprise which basically helps in formulating everything that is being um, planned, and planned is also being done by human capital. Okay, so put together everything, all the inputs, land, labor, physical capital too. Okay, and putting together all the input so that there can be an output. Okay, so there can be a product or any kind of output, either sold or used by the producer. Okay, everything from culture, from agriculture to intelligence is product of human capital. There is not such thing which is not a product of human capital. A farmer having knowledge how to grow seed is a part of human capital. Okay, and how to fly rocket, how to launch different type of products that can make our life easy today is part of human capital. So this is one of the most essential and important um, asset for any kind of production. So I hope this was clear to you. I will continue the chapter in next. So I hope this was clear to you. I will continue the chapter in next video.